Welcome to Decades of Horror, the 1980s.
100 years before this story begins, it was a time of darkness in Transylvania, a time when Dr. Abraham Van Helsing and a small band of freedom fighters conspired to rid the world of vampires and monsters, and to save mankind from the forces of eternal evil. They blew it.
This is episode 282, recorded April 4th, 2025.
Gruesome Magazine.
Well, actually, it's April 2nd, but we rescheduled another podcast for April, and I corrected the wrong one. April 4th. So okay.
April Fools.
Yeah, something like that. All right. My name is Jeff Mohr, and this podcast is about horror films released between 1980 and 1989. Each episode, my co-hosts Bill Mulligan, Crystal Cleveland, and Chad Hunt and I will tackle another classic or not so classic film from this radical, gory, influential, and gruesome decade. Joining me tonight is Crystal Cleveland, actress and YouTuber.
What's up? Was that creepy? I'm sorry.
I just get hot when you say that.
Thank you. It's like totally like that slight ASMR. But
yes.
Yeah. But we had I'm already like pumped up for this episode. I can't believe that you had never seen this before. This
we haven't even got to the movie yet, and you get a
blows my mind. But this is a classic.
I understand why. Excellent. Glad you're here. Also joining us is Chad Hunt, comic book artist, co-host of Decades of Horror, the All of Them. How you doing, Chad?
I've got nards.
This is good.
Well, now everyone knows what it is, because if you know, you know for sure.
Yep.
If
you know,
I don't know. I'm glad for you, Chad. Also joining us.
Well, I had no doubt. Just so you know.
I had a little doubt.
Yeah. Last but not least is Bill Mulligan, writer, director, special effects guru, co-host of Decades of Horror in the 1970s. And he's guesting on Classic here for a couple of months.
That's right. Yeah. I can do some classics. Shimmy like a shark. Yeah. It's going to be cool.
Oh, and published author. He was trying to help.
Wrong.
Who also has nards.
Also, Demon Nards. Spicy.
All righty. So where's your short premiering? Or are you still not talking about that?
Oh, no. It's premiering at the Spring Lane Film Festival here in Sanford. Saturday the 12th, 14th. I don't know. So sometime in April. Whatever.
Yeah, 12th is a Saturday.
12th. It would be the 12th then. Spring Lane Cinema is a wonderful theater. Great, very supportive of people. It's fun to watch a short film that you made being on a real screen in a real theater with real seats. Get to see a lot of good people there.
And it's a great idea. The emotional support demon.
It was a lot of fun to shoot. Yeah. Happy how it turned out.
All right. I'm looking forward to that. I already saw it. Let's see here.
He's got pull.
Now that I've got, I don't know about pull.
Well, you got nards. So
well, that must be it.
Between the three of us, we've got 5, but enough of my problems.
On this podcast, we start by giving some basic details of the film we are covering, followed by each of our first impressions of the movie. Then we'll move into a general discussion of whatever trips are triggered, hopefully related to the film. And before we go into that, we do need to say that we partner with Play Now Media, a streaming service that has a whole bunch of I would call them subgenre channels. And I keep saying it's a Sasquatch channel, but it's actually a Bigfoot channel because they got the website and everything up now.
I guess Bigfoot, you need to know. Yeah, okay, fair enough. Yeah.
And when I checked it out, there's actually other cryptid stuff on there, so it's not just
that's cool.
Bigfoot. So
Yeti's like, where's my channel?
Yes,
I think Yetis are. Yetis are
way scarier.
Yeah, because the cold is scary.
Yeah, if they don't kill you, the cold will.
Yep.
So anyway, you could catch Decades of Horror on the Wicked Horror TV channel. All three of them, classic era, 70s and 80s. But we have a promo code. And if you sign up, you have to be a first-time subscriber, and you have to sign up through their website, which you can find on our webpage at gruesomemagazine.com, and just look at one of the blogs, and it'll list the website there. And if you plug in DOH80, DOH all caps 80, you will get 20% off your first payment, and the monthly plan is $6.99 a month, so you get $1.40 off. The annual plan is $50. So you'd get $10 off, which is the way I'd go. But lots of cool stuff in there, and they're continually doing things to improve it. I'm excited about it. He just uploaded our last batch of episodes, so I think we're pretty current. So you can watch it on the big screen if it's not too scary.
You might want to. You could put the code just like down in the down in the description, just in case, so people can cut.
Yeah.
That's a side. I mean, I wasn't sorry.
There's always room for improvement. All right, so our topic.
Well, yeah.
And this is a spoiler podcast, so this movie
spoil
is
the crap out of it.
Just under 40 years old, and I am going to try something different here.
Did you say 40 years old?
Yeah,
look,
I think isn't it older than that?
1987.
Oh, I guess you're right. This
Almost.
Wow.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
Yep.
The Monster Squad, released in 1987, directed by Fred Decker, written by Shane Black and Fred Decker. The cast includes Andre Gower, Brent Chalum, Robbie Kiger, Ryan Lambert, Ashley Bank, Stephen Mocht, Duncan Reger, Tom Noonan, Leonardo Cimino, John Grice, and Stan Shaw. Production companies are Taft Entertainment Pictures, Keith Berry Productions, distributed by TriStar Pictures in the U.S. Filmed in California in lots of places, and I don't know why I wrote all this stuff down, but I started with the cities, L.A., Burbank, Culver City, and Universal City, and then I started looking at it and going, how many different studios did you do this at? There's Columbia Warner Brothers Ranch, Warner Brothers Burbank Studio, Universal Studios, and the Culver Studios in Culver City. So I don't know. Plus there's some location shooting. All right. They started filming on October 13th, 1986. I have no idea how long it took. It was released on August 14th, 1987. The budget is estimated at $12 million on IMDb. AFI catalog says $14 million. Domestic box office, that's not right. Okay, domestic box office is $3.8 million.
Oh, geez.
Yikes!
I was hoping it was going the other direction. Yikes!
I believe what was our last episode was Day of the Dead. Those are the numbers for Day of the Dead. So, and 3.8 on a budget of 12 to 14 million.
Yep.
Man.
The synopsis: a group of 12-year-olds form a Universal Monsters fan club called the Monster Squad. And have to save their hometown from Count Dracula and his monsters when they show up for real. And there's Frankie walking over the hill with the Monster Squad. All right. So start with first impressions. Who picked this movie? Oh, that was me. And all right, I was gonna out myself, but Crystal already did. I'd never seen this.
Crazy.
We all knew anyway.
How old was I? I was in my 30s, and I had kids, and I'm running to basketball games, and baseball games. And
excuses.
Yeah, those are my excuses. So anyway, I never saw this. And so I picked it just because of everything that's going on. I wanted something light and hopefully feel good. And I got what I wanted. This is a great, fun movie. Some of the best kid dialogue I've ever heard that just really sounds like kids standing around in their clubhouse. We had a club in my neighborhood. Maybe everybody does. We called our club the Clark Street Raiders. and we had a notebook and we made a logo and we had rules and all this stuff anyway. And we climbed this one. Anyway, this is cool. I like this. I like this a lot. Great effects. And we'll talk a lot about the effects. I actually have another slide with the people that worked on the effects because it's worth it to bring them up. And Stephen Mock, who we've talked to before, and Fred Decker, Shane Black. Shane Black's a name.
Yeah.
So this is just great fun. And I felt like it had a great feel good ending. So if you're looking for like, a 70s type ending to a film, this isn't it. This is just a fun feel good show. You know what? I'm going to see what Chad thinks about this. Next, Chad, The Monster Squad. When did you first see it?
I saw it in the theater.
Of course you did.
And when you said it was almost 40 years ago, made my nards tingle.
That's what we live for.
Tingling
nerds.
Yep.
This is, if you're a fan of the old time Universal monsters, this is for you. And also, if you're a fan of like the Little Rascals and those old shows, this is right up your alley. This is a good combination of the two. The thing I liked about this movie is the same thing that worked for Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein. The monsters are played straight.
Yeah.
And everyone else's reactions to the monsters and everything, the comedy comes from that, and the reactions that everybody has to the monsters. But the monsters feel dangerous. They, and even though it's a kids movie, you feel like something bad could happen to them at any time.
Yeah.
Especially Duncan Regier as Dracula. When he held the little girl up and just hissed in her face, I was like, "Oh my no, not Phoebe." But yeah, it was great in that regard, and I wish it would have done better. This movie deserves so much more praise than it was given, and it still holds up now. And its fan base is just at this point in time is just. People are just loyal to this movie. They just live for this movie. The people that have watched it since the beginning, and hopefully new generations will find it pretty good too. But I know one thing: it's a fun movie, like me and my son to sit around and watch. It's a good gateway horror film. If you have a kid or something that wants to get into horror, this is like one of the perfect movies to do that with. And it's just a classic film. And Fred Decker is an unsung hero of mine. He's just great, but never got the real chance to do, I think, and live up to his full potential and everything. This has a great cast. It has great makeup effects, and it's just an awesome movie. And if I didn't think anybody at this point in time had not heard of it, but now Jeff's always got a surprise up.
Well, I'd heard of it. I just hadn't seen it.
But that's my first impression.
Okay, excellent. Thank you, Crystal Cleveland. How about you?
So I don't remember when I first saw this movie. I was young, obviously. And then let me tell you, I've seen this movie so many times. Like, I just watched it last year, even. I watch it a lot, pretty regularly. Here's the thing about this movie that I think is so interesting. Like, it is marketed as like a kind of kids movie, but it's super inappropriate and not at all really a kids movie. There's a lot of cussing. There's a lot of sexual innuendos. There's a lot. It's really not a kids movie, but it doesn't have like too many deaths, and none of the kids well, since we're spoiling, none of the kids die, but Dracula does say, "I am going to kill your son." Like, that's crazy. Like, there's a lot in here that actually pushes the line. So I do remember when I first watched it, thinking it was a little scary, because like Chad said and brought up, it's exactly the way he explained it. The monsters are scary. Like, you don't know for sure what they're going to do. Even though it's done in a slightly campy way, otherwise, it feels like, uh-oh, it could happen. You never know. Might, maybe, I mean, like, some of the themes, though, are more mature, like virginity and stuff.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I would totally let my kids watch it, but I mean, I'm horrible with that. But I was watching The Exorcist at 5, so for me, it's just kind of what it is. But I think that the movie is so well made. I love a lot of the effects. I love a lot of the nods to the old Universal, monsters movies too, especially like Frankenstein. I mean, like, setting up those shots is really cute and clever. I love that. Whoever the main dude shirt, that Stephen King rules. Like, you see those shirts now because of this movie. I actually have a shirt that has Monster Squad rules, but I couldn't find it to wear tonight. But like,
Sean
this
was the character's name. Yeah,
Sean, that's it. This movie, I love it. I think it totally still stands up. It's still a great movie. It's definitely has the 80s vibes, though. A lot of this stuff would not fly today. They use the F word, and I don't mean FU. There's a lot of stuff that like pushes the boundaries. But that's all time. It was different times in the 80s. So yeah, I watch this often. I'd probably watch it at least once a year if you can't. Yeah, that's how much I like it. So,
excellent,
because it's so lighthearted, and I do. I think it's still good. I think that it's super fun. I hope they don't remake this one. I mean, they can make a second one, I guess, but I don't think this.
They'd lose all the charm, I'm sure.
I mean, even like the creature from the Black Lagoon, like the Gill Man or what that actually looked really good.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I was, and when it actually died, like, it almost looked like the light went out in him, and I was like, God, that's actually really good. There's a lot to praise about this film. That's all. Yep.
Excellent. And as we always say, last but not least, Bill Mulligan.
So I saw this when it first came out. I mean, obviously, I was going to go see this. There's a lot in this movie that I shouldn't like, because this has got elements I don't like. I'm famously not a fan of the Goonies. I have nothing against people who love the Goonies.
Oh, wow.
Not trying to ruin your childhood. It was too late for me. A bunch of dumb kids.
Haven't seen that one either.
Yeah, it did nothing for me. I've seen it at least. It is, as Crystal said, it is dated. It's got some of the worst 80s things in it, like God help us, that rap song at the end. Oh, thank God they stopped doing that. No matter what the movie was at the end, it's the monsters, blah, blah, whatever. It was terrible. It was like written by Chat GPT before it even existed. It's just so awful. And yet I love this movie. It's great. First of all, the monsters are fantastic. It's got the second or third best Gill Man ever. The Wolfman's okay. Wolfman's okay, but he's not bad. And I do like that we have the tragic element. He doesn't want to be a Wolfman. He just can't help it. The Mummy is fantastic. When we did a movie we did a few years ago, Blood the Mummy, that's the thing I was going for, that look. I couldn't achieve it because our actor wasn't, I don't know where they found this person who was so thick to be able to look like an actual mummy, but terrific. And Dracula, this is one of my favorite Draculas because he is a mean, vicious jerk. He is just awful, which is the way he should be. The brides of Dracula are great. The only problem with this, the biggest problem with this movie is that, and I hardly ever say this, I wish it were longer. This movie needs at least another 20 minutes, and it should have, but they, whoever did this insisted it could only be 90 minutes long. And it goes by fast. It goes by too fast. We need to see more of the monsters. You let the Gill Man do something, and not just show up and then show up again and die. some more destruction. Although, maybe if we saw, too many people dying, it would have taken away some of the charm. And this movie is all about charm. It's a lot of fun. The kids are likable and it's very quotable. And it's a darn shame it didn't do better, because Fred Dekker is someone who should have made 10, 15 movies in his career like this. And I mean, this and Night of the Creeps, those are terrific, fantastic movies that only have one flaw. They didn't do well. And you're only allowed to have that happen so many times before people stop offering you the chance to make movies. And I sure would have liked to have seen what he could have come up with. He and Shane Black have written a lot of cool stuff and quite a career, but I wish there were more of it, especially on the strength of a movie like this.
Agreed.
Totally.
I pause for applause.
All right. Well, thanks, Bill.
Sure.
I think that there's some stuff to talk about here. And, one of the things that I was thinking about was, that the opening intro that Chad did, I thought, that's interesting. They're setting the stage. But then we started getting some action. I'm going, well, that's what they just described in the intro, right?
Yeah, they were just showing it to you.
Yeah. So
how they failed. How
they blew it. I needed the
Right.
intro other than, I think the entire intro is there so that they can say they failed.
The fundamental flaw in this plan is that they keep having the crucial German spell being read by someone who apparently isn't familiar with the language and can't say it fast enough. And they're just screaming, faster, we're all going to die. Well, now I lost my place and I got to start over. And
Because they're, because they have to be virgins.
Yeah.
Virgins.
Yeah.
Virgins.
Is she a virgin?
Really,
All
the
right.
truth is, you're right, because I was thinking, why did they bother with that? And then we never see that girl again, too, that went through.
She got sucked into the void.
Which is weird, right? Because you just messed me up. I didn't even consider, but I'm like,
At the
you know
beginning,
what, it's
the girl
not-
from the
yeah,
beginning.
yeah, it's not even to explain how the book got there, because the book could have been passed from store to, they could have found it in that vintage shop, no problem. But maybe they just needed to explain that they needed to read the spell. But they could have done it in a cheaper way. Probably would have saved a lot of money. But
All right. Well,
yeah.
it's now time for a little thing we do
Yay!
called Headlines with Chad,
Bad.
Look at that handsome devil.
played by Chad his own self. All right.
Okay, taglines for the Monster Squad. The end of the world starts at midnight.
Oh, that's right. It had to be midnight, didn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Never send a man to do a kid's job. I like that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I'm beginning to see why it didn't make money. That's not a tagline that's really going to send a lot of people to the theater.
Every 100 years, the forces of darkness arise to challenge the forces of light for control of all mankind. This is the year. Tonight is the night. But this time, Dracula has bitten off more than he can chew.
Oh, I get it.
God.
I get it.
Too
Bite
long.
You're doing
Dracula.
so well
Yeah.
up to the end.
Yeah, it's like,
blew
wow.
it.
Like, that's crazy.
Call him for a monstrous good time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that
Okay.
supposed to be like a Ghostbusters ripoff?
Yeah.
Well, the
it
next
sure
one,
is.
yeah.
You know who to call when you have ghosts, but who do you call when you have monsters?
Oh,
Monster
Interesting.
Busters.
See,
The
this makes it
Monster
sound
Squad.
like it's a ripoff of Ghostbusters, and it totally isn't. It's its own story. It has, it sort of has that vibe, but
I feel like they shouldn't have marketed it to be so childlike. I
Yes,
think
I
that
agree.
it would have been more successful had they made it obvious. I mean, these kids are cussing and all kinds of I think that it would have attracted more adults, which I actually think is the better audience. Not
Sure.
adults at least, but like older teenagers to adults is really a better audience for this movie. Now,
Mhm.
young kids will enjoy it, but
they can't drive to the theater. So
Yeah. Mm.
Well,
bad.
everybody,
Oh, yeah.
that's been
That's been
Taglines with Chad.
Chad's our hero, cool and rad. With him reading taglines, they can't be that bad.
It's like that question at the end. Bad? Bad? I'm Ron Burgundy?
Okay. So I did like the part with just to jump that said, oh, no, wait, you got a card for him. So I'll wait to say that then.
Okay.
Let's see here. Well, let's look at posters, right?
Ooh,
right?
yeah.
Let's do posters.
I don't know if I. Oh, okay. I do remember seeing that.
That's a pretty good one, I think.
It's not a bad
Yeah.
poster. It also
Yeah.
makes the kids look a little older than they really are, which
Mhm.
maybe was a good idea.
Yep.
Well, actually, and that's interesting. This was the classic case of them using kids that were short for their age. Andre Gower, who I don't know how tall he ended up being, but he was 13.
Not much taller than he is here.
When they made that. And he looks like he's, I don't know. He acts like he's 13, but he seems smaller. Anyway, the Monster Squad. Yeah. So you got the kids, and then you got the monsters in the background. And you got, oh Lord, taglines galore. I think every tagline.
Look at them all.
Oh, well, those are just blurbs.
Those are
from
blurbs.
ads. Call them
Who?
for a monstrous good time.
Who's the monster on the far left?
That's Frankenstein.
That's
I think.
Frankenstein.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Looks like he's got a long handlebar mustache
Oh.
for some reason.
Oh, it's like lightning or
I
something.
don't think we have
Yeah,
a
that
picture of it. So here it is. I thought, so Dracula wakes up on this plane, falls down into the bog with Frankenstein.
Sure.
And then immediately, the next scene, we see him in a souped up hearse.
Oh, yeah. Hearse.
It's got a skull for a hood ornament and has like chrome teeth coming out on the grills, big sharp sabers. Where did that come from all of a sudden?
Don't worry about it. Okay?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
He's Dracula.
Let
He
it
takes what he
go.
wants.
It's
Like
the Monster
that.
Squad.
I thought it was pretty cool.
They should have had a Renfield. They should have had a Renfield in here to,
Well,
do all
It's
that.
Chinatown, Jack.
One too. Yeah, but of course, obviously that I don't care what.
Do you know how
character
rich
they- someone
Dracula
probably just
is?
Wanted that.
The
Yeah.
compound interest that this guy has been
Mhm.
collecting is off the charts.
Oh,
I don't
so
remember
who do
this
you
poster
call?
actually.
There you
I
go.
don't either.
Yeah, they went there.
And
This
I hate
actually makes them look like kids,
Yes.
and it looks silly. It looks silly.
Yes, it's terrible.
Hmm.
It makes
Yeah.
the monsters look cartoony.
Yeah.
The shadows kind
It
of.
looks like it looks like the the cereal box, kind of Count Dracula stuff. Yeah, that's too bad. See, I think the marketing was the issue.
Never
here.
send a man to do a
Yep.
kid's job. And so who do you call? Okay. Well, that's all the posters we got. But you know what? I did want to mention there's a lot of weird, also known as.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
In Germany, it's,
something.
or
phonetic.
I'm sorry, in Denmark, it's Min bedste ven, my best friend, Frankenstein. Oh, it ends with Frankenstein. Min bedste ven, Frankenstein. My best friend, Frankenstein. Kind of a slanted
I
version.
mean, yeah,
Uh,
that makes sense.
No, they're Belgian.
In Mexico, in this El Escuadrón de los Monstruos, the Monster Squad.
The Monster Squad.
And also in Mexico, El Escuadrón Anti-Monstruos, the Anti-Monster Squad.
Ooh, the sequel.
What the? But
Well, they didn't go for the first one. Let's just flip it around on
That
them.
was the video title. Then Scuola di Mostri in Italy, the Monster School.
Oh,
okay.
And in Poland, and I know I'm not going to pronounce this right, but Lasy Potworov, Monster Hunters. And
That's
in
fine.
Spain,
That's
another one in Spain.
wow. How many?
Una pandilla alucinante, a mind-blowing gang.
Oh,
Wow.
okay.
They're just
Yeah.
scrambling here.
Now there may be, that sounds like one of those ones where there's something else going on there, like it's some colloquialism that isn't translatable in English, maybe. All right. Well, Fred
But that
Decker,
makes it sound more childlike, though.
it does.
Yeah.
It does. A mind-blowing gang. All right. Fred Decker.
I like that hat. Okay, the logo is awesome.
I like that shirt actually. Now,
and right before this, he did.
Of course you do, Bill.
I love
Night of the
Creeps. Night of the Creeps is one of my favorites.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Tom Aiken's best movie, best role. It's fantastic. RoboCop 3, not so great, but I don't think anyone could have made that work.
He got so much flack in studio interference on this. He couldn't make the dark RoboCop he wanted to make. They wanted to sell toys. And that's why we got the flying RoboCop, and we got this kind of RoboCop, and it just totally took away from what he was trying to do with it. But Night of the Creeps is just a classic as well.
Well, it's interesting in that so there's a documentary we talked about it off channel, but called Wolfman Scott Nards that came out.
That's
I think in 2018. But it's kind of about how this movie, it did very poorly at the box office and was very disappointing to them because they all had a lot of fun and thought very highly of the movie. And it just didn't go anywhere. And I think it came out was it 2 to 4 weeks right after Lost Boys? So
yeah, that's
there was a placement issue there. So anyway, he talks about in the documentary, he talked about, and I think it was Peter Hyams, who was one of the executive producers, that he was there quite a bit and was kind of coaching him on directing, because this was his second film after Night of the Creeps, and talking to him about doing things like get your master shots first and then do the pickups, because I guess I don't know how he was doing it. He was just kind of scattershot or something. But anyway, he said he helped me a lot and really formed my directing. So that's interesting. You hear so many bad stories about producers. But yeah, this movie went. This movie went huge later on in VHS and Blu-rays and on HBO, and now these guys are in the documentary. Andre Gower and Lambert, the guy that played Rudy, and the woman that played, let's see, Andre Gower.
Phoebe was on it a little bit. Yeah,
Ryan Lambert and Ashley Bank, who played Phoebe. Those three went around. There was like a 18 city Alamo tour. Where they went and did Q&As everywhere, and
that's awesome.
They were just having a blast because every one of them sold out in a minute.
There's a lot of affection for this movie.
Yeah, and that's what a lot of them. She said it just made so much that it meant so much to them. If you're a kid and you see this at the right age, it can have a big impact.
Cool.
Right. And I think the love that Decker has for these characters, for the whole idea of monsters and being a monster kid, really comes through. And if you can infuse your movie with that sense of love, it will find its audience, because everyone's seeking that out. And unfortunately it helps if they seek it out within a week of it being released.
Right.
Well, I do think it helps, when you're younger and you watch a movie with kids that are just a little bit older or whatever, and then they're so adult-like. Kids love that because, they want to be older, until, we grow up and then we don't. But so I think in that way, it was very successful. And I really do think, unfortunately, it was marketed toward kids, which I do think kids loved it. But I think it should have been marketed for an older age, because I think that older people thought, I'm going to hate that. That looks dumb. Yeah. But they would have enjoyed it too, just for different reasons, because it's funny.
Well, and right that same year, then Shane Black co-wrote it with him. Shane Black had Lethal Weapon come out the same year.
Oh wow!
Which he then followed up with 2 and 3 and a couple other things. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang,
Great movie.
Iron Man 3.
And he
acted in Predator. So anyway, so yeah, it's he seemed sort of in that documentary. Fred Decker seemed sort of I don't know, Chad, what would you say? Sort of.
He's disillusioned with the Hollywood system of making movies. And
he considered this the best movie that he made. And he was like, so now it's a big hit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
you know,
right.
It was,
a lot of good, does me.
A lot of people were excited about it. They were all bummed because the guy that played Horace died very young.
He did.
Oh,
he did.
And
pneumonia.
It was such a there's another example of something you probably couldn't do today, because everybody, not just the bully kids, everybody calls him the fat kid all the way through the movie until he kills the creature or the gill man. All right. I'm rambling. Fred Decker.
I'm a rambling man.
So
there's the kids.
There's Horace at the top. And I don't know that.
Phoebe.
Who was that?
Phoebe in the middle.
Oh,
right.
Oh yeah. I was thinking maybe. No, you're right.
Okay, good.
And then you have Sean and Patrick there with the paper are they doing the monster test with Rudy?
They're talking to the idiot principal
head teacher, isn't it?
There's nothing that makes me cringe more than when this guy is trying to be cool with I think science is cool.
Oh, I think it's so funny.
Just shoot me now. Oh no, it's perfect, because I've known teachers like that, and I hope to God at my funeral,
when I was your age, I
forward and say, Mr. Mulligan used to rap science to us. Like, I'll rise from my coffin. I sure as hell did not.
Oh, I loved it. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Phoebe was awesome. I loved her.
The kids are fun. They're not grown-ups in little tiny bodies. They're real kids, and they seem like real kids. And you know, it's true. Okay, they call him the fat kid the whole time. It's one of those things you wouldn't do now. But I just want to say, back in the 70s and 80s and stuff, when we were kids, you did get a nickname, and it stuck with you, and it was nothing personal. It was just, this was how everyone.
Oh, it's totally personal.
Yes, but you didn't take it personal. You took it as a challenge to find the next nickname for the next kid who came along.
I don't know if they do. Would they do that now?
Absolutely not.
Oh no.
I'll tell you that, like, my kids growing up, they're like, what is wrong with y'all? What is wrong with y'all bullying? Because, like, I would show him stuff and I was like, see how, and he's like, no one acts like that. So no, apparently they're much better, which is good. I didn't really grow up with people bullying. I mean, not really. Like, I mean, people were jerks sometimes. There were some jerk kids, but everyone hated them, like, yeah.
When you're kids too, you roast your buddies.
Yeah.
And that was your way of showing, hey man, I love you. You roast your buddies, but if somebody else was to call him fat kid,
then it's on.
The rest of them would, would kick that guy's butt.
Yeah, you can't call him. He's my fat kid.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I don't know. There was a kid in my high school that got picked on relentlessly. I don't ever remember anybody beat him up or anything, but he also was like maybe the weirdest person I've ever met in my life.
Well, that's the
he would literally like goose step down the hall in the school.
What's that?
With his
arm. Like a Nazi.
The German way of marching, the Nazi way of marching, where your legs are stiff. That's goose stepping.
I mean,
oh wow! Okay.
Watch a Nazi pray with his arm up in the air like.
With his arm in the, listen,
that's easy. He deserved it.
His ass. Come on, I want to get it.
But he was obviously really weird. Like I wondered what his home life was like, because the clothing, everything about him was weird. He wore weird clothes. He had carried himself weird. His brother was weird, not as weird as him, but I just.
Weird is subjective.
Boy, am I off base. All right. All right. So those are the kids. And there's a bunch of them. There's a huge bunch of them.
Yeah, a lot of kids.
And I noticed it, even in the credits, so everything is geared towards the kids. So their credits are Sean, Patrick, and then Stephen Bach is Dell - Sean's dad. They don't give him a last name. You identify him by being Sean's dad. And then Leonardo Cimino is scary German guy.
Which is great.
And then the one I like is the sister. The first one they get, Patrick's sister, to read the German.
Yes.
We don't even know her name. She's billed as Patrick's sister.
Oh, well, well, yeah. I don't think, yeah.
So everything is geared around these kids.
That's funny.
And then Jonathan Gryce was desperate man, is what they said. He was he didn't play the Wolfman,
werewolf,
but he played the guy that turned into the werewolf. Yeah.
Rico.
Yeah. And what did we just watch that he was in? Terror Vision.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. And
talk about different. This is about the same time.
Wasn't he the same dude in well, speaking of Val Kilmer, unfortunately, rest in peace. But Real Genius. Wasn't he Laszlo in the closet in Real Genius? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I think so.
Real Genius is one of my favorite movies of all time because it only other than where I'm a nerd, and that I love that Val Kilmer was a genius. Yeah. And this dude lived in his closet. I'm pretty sure it was him, and he was so weird. He's fabulous. Yeah, I love him.
Oh wow, I got to go back and watch that again. I didn't notice that. He was in the Axe Murders of Villisca, which is Iowa's famous mass murder. You know, like 6 or 7 people in a house in this little town were found chopped up one day.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
And they never
found him.
Yeah, they made a movie of that. And he's in that. So
never heard of it.
No, me neither.
It's a spoopy story.
Oh yeah, and the house. Somebody bought the house, and it's open, and you can go and stay there. You could stay there the anniversary of the murder, but it's like triple.
Oh hell yeah, of course.
Right.
See, that's smart. The little old lady who used to live across the street from us, God rest her soul, she was ancient. She, as a child, her boyfriend would take her to Ed Gein's place.
Oh,
and that was a big hangout for kids to go there and scare their girlfriends. Awesome. And the town, just to show you how stupid people are, the townsfolk got together and burned it to the ground.
Oh,
you're like, wow, this could be like a bed and breakfast now. So
when I went to while we were in San Diego, I always go to the Whaley House. It's WHALEY, and it's billed as the most haunted house in the U.S., but it's I don't know. But what it is, it's very historic. It's in Old Town, which is considered the beginnings of California, like the first settlement. And there are weird things that happen, like a baby died real young, and then the mother hung herself.
Well, in the room. That makes sense, though. Because like sad.
So, yes. I was messing with them. There was school kids going through it, and I kept saying shit to them.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Nothing
anyway.
better than being around a pussy. Like when they're scared, that's the greatest.
They knew I was messing with them. All right.
Oh no, it's good.
So those are the kids. All right, Stephen Mock, who we recently discussed on 70s.
Nightwing. Yeah.
Nightwing.
Is that the dad?
That's the dad.
Yeah.
I love the scene where he's on the roof with the kid.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's
I
awesome.
love him.
He's a great dad.
Yeah.
He's amazing. Like
I'm sitting there watching.
It was very natural.
Yeah, I was watching him going, why didn't I talk to my kids like that? Like, hey, I know that this is going on, but put a lid on it because I got to go.
And he comes through at the end.
He doesn't say, God damn it, would you shut up?
There's only one thing about this family dynamic I don't like. I like that the parents are having a difficult time and keeping that from the kids, and they could have played that up a little more. I hate it in real life or in movies when you have a character, it's usually the wife, who is, upset that her husband is not spending enough time with her because he's too busy putting out fires saving people or being a cop. You married a cop. Yeah. It's like if you marry a soldier, you're like, oh, you're deployed. Oh, I don't see you. Yeah, that's what happens when you marry a soldier. If you can't handle that, don't inflict yourself on someone who's, got a job to do.
I saw one like that. I saw one recently like that where the the girlfriend came up on the cop, and he was at a crime scene of multiple murders, and there was like a kid there and stuff, and she's watching him, and he's being a cop, you know.
Yeah.
And so afterwards, she's like, I don't know if I can be with you. I'm like,
Why?
because he wasn't
Paying
affected
attention
to
her.
tears, like because of, you know.
What the fuck? Oh
Yeah, it was
my
the same thing.
God.
Anyway,
It's like you can't be like that and do
No.
that job. See, that's because I actually had thought about becoming a detective, not an officer, just a detective, like going to, but I could not handle the children
Yeah.
stuff. I don't have a problem with dead bodies or murder. I mean, but when it comes to the kids, that's too much for me. Can't
But
handle
this poor guy, they stole a mummy in his town. A guy shows up, claims he's a werewolf, gets shot dead in there. It's been a long freaking day. Comes home, and now his wife is busting his chops because
Isn't that Robert Zemeckis' wife there?
Well, I forgot she was the detective, the psychologist in the Lethal Weapon movies.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
She was fun in that.
But I think she's married to Robert Zemeckis. I'm not mistaken.
Nice.
When was Galaxina?
It's that. Oh,
Oh, that's the
I
other
don't know.
movie.
Oh,
he
I
was
see
in.
that.
Yeah.
19
Terrible movie. Dorothy
Yeah.
Stratton plays Galaxina. Maybe we'll do it someday. It's not good.
3.7 on IMDb. Not that
That's
that means
fair.
anything. So you're talking about. So he does a good job in this. I thought.
Yeah.
he's-
Oh, the dad is amazing.
Yeah.
Like I loved him. Mm-hmm.
The nice thing too, a lot of these movies, when they have a kids movie, they try to make the kids seem better of making the adults idiots.
Mm-hmm.
So I appreciate that his dad is not an idiot. He's
Right.
a
Yeah, he's
competent
not.
cop, and he doesn't waste a whole lot of time telling us, oh, this isn't possible. At a certain point, it's like, what do you know? There really are werewolves.
Okay, so she's actually given a name. She is Mary Ellen Trainor. The mother is who you were talking about, Chad.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Man, she was in Die Hard.
She was in some Tales from the Crypt.
Who was the spouse
So
of
good.
Robert Zemeckis for 20 years, from 80 to 2000. So yeah, she's in all kinds of stuff.
I've always liked her. Whenever she'd pop up in a movie here. and there.
Oh, she's in the Goonies.
Yeah.
I think is she the mom? I think
Yeah,
she might
yeah,
be the
she is.
mom.
I-
Yeah. I was like, no, now that sounds familiar now.
I'm with you, Bill. I hate the Goonies.
The only thing I liked about was the music video, Cyndi Lauper and the Wrestlers. Captain Lou is always fun, but yeah, just not.
She's in a lot of stuff. Death Becomes Her.
Oh, that's a great movie. Wow.
Yeah.
I don't know how big a parts, but yeah, she's working. So yeah, she's good in here too. But I always feel a little frustrated when she was sort of stuff happened to her. She didn't have any agency in the movie.
Well,
She just
it's a kids movie. The parents are just there.
She'll
Anyway,
be
that's
okay.
it.
Yeah.
So I dug Rudy.
I
he was-
love Rudy. He's so funny.
Rudy is again one of those things.
Ah.
I should hate Rudy because I usually hate it when some kid is putting on this fake macho tough guy act. By golly, he pulls it off.
He's funny.
He
Yeah.
makes it work.
Because he's kind of lovable. Because he's lovable. Because he's a bully to the bad people.
Right.
The bad.
He's
and he
Dexter.
likes the nerds.
He's a serial
Yeah.
killer of serial killers. He's a bully of
Yeah.
bullies.
Yeah. So that's why he's likable. And then he wants to be part of this stupid crew they have. It's dumb.
Yeah, that's the interesting bit. Fonzie does not want to hang out with Potsy, but in this case, he does. So,
Well, don't you think the original motive was to get in the treehouse so he could look at the girl through the window?
I don't think he
I
realized
don't think that was
that
his
was there
original motive,
because
but it was definitely a
because-
perk.
yeah, because then he started looking and he was like, "Whoa, I think I'm gonna like this club." He didn't realize
Okay,
that he
okay.
could see that until he was up there. Yeah.
Talk about
So-
things that would not be allowed today. He's snapping nude
Mhm.
pictures of a girl and then uses them to blackmail her by threatening to release them. He would go to jail now. He would be the poster boy for being a sex pest,
Well, he'd have to
Apparently.
he'd have to be pulling them off of the internet, right? He would have shared them to everybody in school.
I think it's worse if you actually show up at someone's I don't have personal knowledge of this, but
Okay.
I think that'll get you in even more trouble.
If you show them the picture and say, now you have to.
Yeah.
And I love how she's she never actually says she's a virgin. Everybody assumes she's a virgin, but then
She said,
end,
she goes,
oh, does she go,
yeah.
And then she
Because,
says, Bill doesn't count, and somebody doesn't count.
Yeah.
No, he was pretty cool. But the added feature of it, he's really cool. And then he gets on his bike and rides away. Which is, I mean,
yes, that is funny. It's like, you know,
well, they're not old enough to have
I know, but he's playing. He's playing a guy.
In the kingdom of the blind, the one-eyed man is king. So when you're dealing with a bunch of 11-year-olds, 10-year-olds, if you're 13, you are the coolest of the cool.
Yep.
All right.
Also, he does a lot of the heavy lifting. He's the one with the crossbow. He's out there.
He killed several of the vampires.
Yeah.
Like the brides.
The brides. Yes, he did.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he just walked out there
and the way he's like, he's got such balls. He's like, I'm one of the group, aren't I?
Yeah. Yes.
That's right.
I love it.
You're gonna kill him?
He's brilliant. He's brilliant. I love it. It's super fun.
Let me run through this quick here because we're going to get into the monsters here. I don't know if I should do this first or last, but
the
Stan Winston Studio did this.
Yep.
Stan Winston has credit as a monster creator. Alec Gillis was head monster maker and did the Dracula and Bat transformation.
Why didn't he do the Gilman?
I was just going to say.
Well, we're getting there. Shane Mann, head monster maker of the Mummy.
Great job, man.
Matt Rose, head monster maker, Gilman. So Matt Rose and Steve Wang did the Gilman.
Okay, wait. Can I say something really quickly?
Yes,
Bill, if you look at the Mummy, I bet you that's a female in the Mummy costume.
That's what I was going to say too.
That would not shock me. I bet you're right.
And that's why it worked better.
Well, it says it's Michael Reed McKay.
Wow, it looks like, because look how short and tiny.
Right.
Like,
well, Noonan is a monster in real life. He's tall, man.
That is true. And with those shoes on, there's another 8 inches.
Fair enough. That person is little. Okay, sorry.
That is a tiny.
Sorry.
That's all right. So Matt Rose and Steve Wang did the Gilman. John Rosengrant did the Wolfman, or was the head monster maker for the Wolfman, and Tom Woodruff Jr. was head monster maker for Frankenstein, but he also he wanted to be a suit actor, and he begged to be the Gilman, and so they let him.
Oh, neat.
And that was the start of he has a significant career as a suit actor too.
He plays the alien in a lot of the alien movies.
Yeah. Crew, and then they listed these also, and I recognize some of these names from all the movies we've been doing. You guys are teaching me all these people. The Monster Mechanical Department: Stephen James, David Kindlon, Richard Landon, Dave Nelson, and Wayne Sturm. And the Monster Art Department: David Leroy Anderson, Eric Fiedler, Emilio M. Gonzalez, Leonard McDonald, Lindsay McGowan, Dave Matherly, Steve Patino, Anton Ruprecht, Shannon Shea, Brian Simpson, Michiko Tagawa, and Jackie Titchener.
Great job, folks.
Yeah, it was awesome. I thought it was great. And I'm just going to, while we're doing it, this is, I think, the best. This is just impressive as heck. I think
I would have said Ruprecht, but I don't know.
Okay, you're probably right. You're probably right.
I was gonna chime in, but
if they had done a remake of Creature on the Black Lagoon and this is the design they went with,
I love it.
To change it up, I would have been perfectly okay. This is a great Gilman.
And the way he kept opening his mouth like a fish trying to breathe, and I was like, and the way I think that he killed it. Like, I mean, he did a good job, especially for his first time.
I just wish they'd done more with him. I wish they had him lifting up a card, like right out of one of the posters. And
he was the weakest of the bunch, unfortunately. He really.
I don't know. The Mummy, a good kick would have taken the Mummy down, which is absolutely 100% accurate.
Well, it was great how they. So anyway, this one, I thought it was a great scene when. What is the one kid's name? Eugene, I think, is the one who sent the message to the army.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, army men, please come.
The funniest part is at the end they do come, and they're like, "Where are the monsters?" Like, wow,
where's Eugene?
Finally, a movie where someone believes that that they're actual monsters on the basis of the flimsiest evidence possible. That's great.
But anyway, while Eugene's over there by the water, the creatures, the Gillman surges up out of there. And that I thought that was a great shot. It was
me really too.
Great design on that.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody mentioned the Mummy. And
look how little they are. I'm not even just talking about like just look at their whole stature.
Look at how the rags are just loosely on there, and when he
imagine how little he is
great. Because he's unraveling and there's nothing. he's hollow.
Look at that face. That is amazing.
Rudy says, "Give me some slack." Hand him a piece of the bandage. He ties it to the arrow. I'm like,
I mean, these monsters are phenomenal. They're amazing. Like, I get it, Stan Winston, of course.
Right.
That's probably where huge part of the budget. I mean, come on, there so many and they're cool. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm sure the kids weren't getting top dollar. All right, go back to the head guy.
Just a great Dracula.
You say Duncan Roger? It was great.
Arrogant,
just
snobby, totally confident in his superiority. When he's walking down the street taking out cops with as much effort as I would swat at a moth.
Yeah.
He's not even bothering to look at them. He just sort of grabs them, breaks their neck, and then one after another they jump at him, and he doesn't break his stride. It's great. It's fantastic.
He's almost too OP though. Like when you see him, it's like, dang. I mean,
it's the Seinfeld.
It's almost overpowered. Sorry, overpowered. Okay. Yeah, sorry, Jeff.
The Seinfeld what?
It's the Seinfeld puffy shirt.
Yeah,
gives him his strength.
He pulls it off though.
The pirate.
Yeah.
I haven't seen all or many of the Seinfeld episodes, but I did watch the classics, like the puffy shirt and then the soup. No soup for you.
The soup Nazi. So they said with Phoebe that when he had his red contacts in and his teeth on, she was scared of him.
Aww.
So they weren't letting her see him like that. But in that scene, then
there's a fake person.
No,
they lifted her up. Even though he only had like even though he only had like this under her chin and lifted her up to his eye level, that she was actually on a table and the crew were lifting her up.
But she was still afraid, right?
Well, because she didn't know it when he and he calls her bitch. His eyes pop open and he shows his fangs and he's got some blood. And that when she was screaming, she really screamed.
Aww.
And then they had to do it again because anyway.
Then she knew it was coming. That's got to help. Like it's less scary the second time around.
The second time he stuck her with a pin, though. Do what you got to do.
Hey, I was going to ask you guys. Did you guys?
I messed up.
Did you watch this with on Prime?
Yes, I did.
Chad?
I have the Blu-ray.
Oh, okay. I didn't buy it. I think I'm going to have to, but well, on Prime, I swear that the subtitles, like, I don't think the word nards was in the subtitle.
Oh,
wow!
I thought they changed it.
They might have.
It's bollocks in the.
Oh, well, that makes sense.
Wolfman's got bollocks
on the Blu-ray, or just
no? I'm just kidding.
Oh, you're just kidding. Well, I read something about that they had some of that stuff. Anyway, all right. Tom Noonan and Frankenstein.
Tom Noonan
and
Manhunter. Good sympathetic Frankenstein. Yeah, he's terrifying in Manhunter. Although that particular scene is not in the original cut of the film. He's fantastic in that movie. The first Dr. Electra movie. He's a good actor. He was in RoboCop 2. He was a pretty good villain there. He was villain in, was it The Last Action Hero? Or yeah, he's such a unique presence. He gets used a lot for heavies because he's just a scary dude. But he also seems like a nice guy from the interviews I've seen.
Very smart, very nice guy. He was doing a lot of movies around this time, but that his performance the book was based or the movie Manhunter was based on Red Dragon, I think.
Right.
And wow, was he born to play that?
Mm-hmm.
Because he was scary in it. And that was a TV movie too, I believe.
Manhunter? I don't think so.
Yeah.
No, it was a
probably went straight to, it didn't do very well in the theater. But no, it was released.
Well, it was a Michael Mann flick. After Red Dragon is one of those books. I literally I don't know why, but I think because of the cover, I pulled it off the bargain table. It was when I was working at Walden Books. And I went home and read it. I stayed up all night reading it.
Yeah, I'm right there with you.
God, that was a
could not put it down.
Good story anyway. Yeah, he's got I don't know, 84 credits, I think, here.
I mean, I'm glad they didn't throw the little girl into the water, but I love that they did like that shot, like
kind of homage to it.
Mm-hmm.
So he plays he's Francis Dollarhide.
Right.
Yeah.
It's the little touches like having the little girl by the pond, or Dracula's
like
crypt with the armadillos, which still makes me laugh because that harkens back.
The little girl by the water was great. That definitely harkened back, and then she's like immediately totally disarms him.
Yeah. She's got the little stuffed animal that she gives him at the end. Which
Little
is sweet.
Phoebe, she's so cute.
Mm-hmm. Precious.
She's too innocent to be scared of.
So
she
Manhunter,
sees that Frankenstein's monsters are just a baby himself.
Manhunter had a $15 million budget and had a 8.6 million domestic gross.
Yep.
Yikes.
Dino De Laurentiis, he could turn gold into straw.
Well, and I think that's when Michael Mann was kind of hot because of Miami Vice, wasn't he?
Yeah. That movie had every reason to succeed, but
That sucks.
And it was pretty good. I remember going to that and thinking, this is not bad. All righty. Yeah, Lecter. Who played Lecter? Was it Brian?
It was
Brian Cox.
Brian Cox.
Yeah.
He was good.
Yes, he was. All right. Well, we've done that. Well, we've also got The Brides.
The Brides. We don't see much of them, but they're cool. I mean, that's just such a great look. Really needs to be a movie just about the brides someday.
Isn't
Like
there Brides of
day
Dracula?
I was about to say a modern day. Yeah, that's why I said
No,
modern
yeah,
day. Like,
not. I mean, the classic.
The wispy dresses and everything.
Yeah, there he is.
There's the Wolfman.
So supposedly they said they based the Wolfman's face on Stan Winston.
Oh, I did read that. Yeah.
I don't know that I see that.
like his actual face.
Yeah.
This design didn't work too well for me. I didn't.
No, I
it's a little stiff.
To me, this was the only one that didn't really.
I felt like the head or the chest up through the neck and the head were all like solid. It didn't seem like he couldn't really turn his head. He had to, or maybe that's what it seemed like anyway.
I would have preferred if they went with like the bottom design here more, not full wolf-like, or he definitely doesn't. And this is one of the things we should mention. They didn't think they were allowed to make these monsters too much like the Universal. So little things like Frankenstein's bolts are not in his neck, they're somewhere else. And nothing can look exactly, you can only make a gill man look so much like Creature from the Black Lagoon. Mummy's going to look like a mummy no matter what you do. But I don't know. Yeah. It's not one of my favorite werewolves.
It's not. It's just, I don't know. There's something off-putting about it. And it's probably the fact that they tried to base it on Stan Winston that it looks so weird.
A little too far.
Yeah.
There's a nice little.
Werewolves are hard.
It bothered me that it seemed like the head couldn't turn in relation to the shoulders, but other than that, there was one scene where they're out in the open and he, it was like somebody with a bad neck who has to
headpiece loaded with servos and stuff like that. It's probably maybe that's why. But.
Could have been. But there was a nice little transformation scene. There only was a couple shots in it, but it was well done. And lastly, we have the scary German guy.
Who is great. And I remember being so impressed in the movie theater because I did not see it coming, even though I should have, because it was almost obvious when they're talking. I guess you know a lot about monsters, and he's like, I guess I do. And
God,
you see the
that's
tattoo
another
in his
thing.
arm,
That's
and you're like,
adult.
holy crap, that's
Oh,
100% adult stuff. No kid's gonna get that.
Absolutely not. Yeah,
But-
see, that's what I'm talking about. Like, there's so much for adults that I think that.
The
And that's
scary
one
German
of
guy.
those great show don't tell. Show don't tell. That one little
yeah.
shot tells you everything you need to know about this guy, and that he is going to be with those kids to the end, and he knows what evil is.
But that's so true too. From the neighborhoods I lived in, there was always like one house, or there'd be one guy who was a guy you stayed the hell off his yard. You didn't go there, or there was the house that was supposedly the haunted house, and you're always keeping an eye on it. The scary German guy who all he has to do is peek out the window and they run screaming.
Yeah.
All he wants to do is serve pie.
Yeah.
Please have some more pie.
And I wondered if I have not seen this guy in many other roles, but I was surprised to see on the Family Channel he was Zorro. He played Zorro for a number of years.
Yeah.
So
wow,
yeah.
Oh, really?
Who would have thought?
Well, you see him down there with his cool hat.
Oh, I do, but I don't even.
Mask.
I don't even recognize
I'm like,
him.
He probably thought
Right.
Bill just stuck a random picture in there because he thinks everyone looks the same.
I never know, Bill.
You never know. That's actually that should be your default expectation for why anything's there.
When do you remember when that was? Because
I don't. He looks younger there.
You had to be in
Yeah,
the
a lot.
60s or 70s, early 70s, maybe. I don't know. Well, no, this was 87, right?
Yeah. And
Unless
he's
they really-
considerably older than he was there.
Well, his first credit is 53. Oh, he played the Baron's doctor in 1984 Dune.
Oh, yeah.
That's neat.
Yeah. Gross.
All right. Well, we'll just have to take your word for it there, Bill.
Yeah,
I can't find it.
I believe you, Bill.
I do.
Totally.
Crystal trusts me.
Oh, I forgot Van Helsing. There's Van Helsing.
Van Helsing.
Who does come back at the end, surprisingly, I thought.
Yeah, inexplicably.
Yeah, it's
Why don't
all
you just
weird.
keep on walking out? I mean, what about that poor little girl that got shoved in there? Why doesn't she
Yeah,
get
I
to
don't
come out?
get it. It's weird.
But yeah, you're right. First we have the Patrick's sister who's supposed to do it. And then you find out it's not working. Oh, she's not a virgin.
Wow.
And then
Which
they
is funny.
and then they look at Phoebe. Hey, is she a version? A version?
Better be.
Whatever. So
A thumbs up.
I thought it was kind of cool.
It's cute.
She was the brave one.
Yeah, so what happens? Van Helsing and Dracula get sucked back into the Netherverse or something and just pound on each other forever? Or Limbo. Be like that Star Trek episode where those two guys just kept fighting at Lazarus and just kept fighting each other. And
I love the kid though. I mean, the mom's like, "Oh, I got this book for you. I thought you might like." Van Helsing. Oh my God, this is awesome. It's in German. I bet he signed up for German the next year. Then Bill's got some behind the scenes stuff here.
a little bit of
That's what they look like,
drawings
actually.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There they are. So apparently the creature couldn't actually lift up a whole coffin without two guys helping him. What? How disillusioning.
Let's keep it straight. Let's go for the close up. That almost looks like, is that Stan Winston standing behind him in the water?
I don't know. Does he look
Looks
like the
like him.
werewolf?
I don't know what he looks like.
Yeah, that's
Looks like
him.
the werewolf.
Kind of looks like him. Oh, well, there you go. Cool stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Any other stuff we want to talk about? I love the scene where the whole crew goes. I think I skipped this shot where they all walk over the hill together.
Yeah, it's a sweet shot.
The dog. Look at that beagle. That
Isn't
thing
he
is
precious?
Yeah,
Yes.
and he acts like a real dog too. You know that I
Yeah.
appreciate
How he
that. where
goes in between his legs. Oh, it's so sweet. Doji.
One other good effect was when Dracula crashed through the church window, and they run up and find him up there, and he's kind of gnarly looking.
Yeah, he's like a little bit bad, a little bit not bad, a little bit rock and roll.
Man, look at that. The flood is over. The ground is dry. Why does he wear his pants so high?
And I'm frozen. Oh well.
That's funny. The
I'm
flood is
frozen.
over. I got to remember that. That's hilarious.
Anyway, yeah, the I don't know. There was something else. Oh, the Wolfman too. Sticks a stick of dynamite in his waistband, throws him out. But guess what? Blowing him to pieces is not one of the ways to kill a wolfman.
That's right. You just
Oh yeah.
come right back together.
Told you the only way was a silver bullet. That was cute.
Okay, I think that's all the picks here. So, final comments?
Great movie. Great.
It is.
I
I think I'm going to have to buy the Blu-ray.
I'm shocked that you don't own it. Honestly.
Well,
now.
it was happening. All this was happening while I was traveling. I was afraid I wouldn't have time, so I didn't order it.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah.
This is one of those releases I could not wait to get my hands on when it came out on Blu-ray.
Wow. I feel really bad for not. I think I probably just turned my nose up at it as a kid movie,
See, and that's like, I think that's the problem. I think that it absolutely got marketed incorrectly.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm glad you watched it now. So you know.
Yeah. That's why I'm here. So that's the whole point of this whole thing is you guys know far more about 80s than me. So and I know that people are hyped about this movie. That's why when I saw it available, I thought I got to pick that because I need something. Distracting that will put a grin on my face right now.
And it is. It's like
so
it's a feel good. It's sweet. I mean,
Yeah.
the ending is happy.
Well, and I kind of actually got tears in my eyes watching that Wolfman's Got Nards documentary.
Yeah, that was a really good doc.
They do a big tribute to Brent Challam, the guy that played Horace, and that he's the guy that everybody. He was a fat kid. That everybody, that he has the best arc, and he comes out and it's the bullies that are cowering that he saves that won't let him in the house.
Hey, let me just say from my frozen ass self here, it was not scary German guy who played Zorro. It was Dracula.
OMG! I can see it now.
That makes sense.
I can.
You can't see it, but I'm face palming myself now. I'm just like, dirt.
Well, you know what? I apparently shouldn't have trusted you, but I'm still going to trust you next time.
You'll know. Next time you'll know better. Oh
no.
I was just pretending to trust him.
Jeff knows.
He had a great career.
Yeah,
it's a bunch of Star Treks and
bet not as many characters as Jeffrey Combs. I bet.
No, not at all.
You can do that.
Not at all. He was in Next Generation. I thought I saw Deep Space. Yeah, there's a Deep Space Nine, and I think he's Shakar in 3 episodes of Deep Space Nine. I'm not sure what alien race that is.
I know it. Oh my god!
Yeah. Pat Garrett in a TV movie of Billy the Kid. Val Kilmer played Billy the Kid in '89. Well, there's a connection.
Yeah.
All righty. Oh, he's in V too. 4 episodes of V.
Ooh.
He looks like a V. Wizards and Warriors. Did you guys watch that?
No.
So it's a TV series in '83, 8 episodes.
That sounds like some crap I'd like, though.
It sounds like some crap. You could have stopped right there.
I'm like, Wizards and I'm in.
This
Cool.
looks like some shit I'd
Probably poop and doo-doo. That's what
They want how much
Yeah.
for the IP for Dungeons and Dragons? We'll just call it Wizards and Warriors. What are they going to do about it?
Yep.
And there was only 8 episodes, so that's why he
Yeah.
was in. Oh, Jeff Conaway was also in it. All right, everybody ready for feedback?
Feedback.
Sure, yeah.
We got feedback.
Mhm.
Twilight Zone the movie, episode
Hey, I'll
280.
I'll do this one because I should have gotten this.
Okay.
Even
You got
with,
it.
not without being able to recognize faces, I should have recognized this one. Craig in Lincoln, Nebraska says, "Hey peeps, I waited to send feedback about Twilight Zone the movie episode as I was late listening to it. However, after listening to the recent feedback portion of Day of the Dead and hearing no one else mention it, there's something fairly big you guys missed in Twilight Zone. In the third story, It's a Good Life, the sister without a mouth is played by Cherry Curie. She was the lead singer of the mid-70s all-girl group, The Runaways, which featured Joan Jett and Lita Ford. Their big hit was Cherry Bomb. Cherry Bomb.
Yeah.
I love The
Oh,
Runaways.
wow.
Great
So
catch, Craig.
is that like who did Kristen Stewart play? There was a movie called The Runaways, wasn't
Yes.
it?
She played Joan Jett, I believe.
Yeah, I think she
I
was
think
Joan
she
Jett.
did. Okay. Yeah. That's cool though.
Yeah,
Thank
it
you.
is.
Mm-hmm.
You're right. We missed it, and that's why we have the smartest
That is right.
listeners.
And by the way, man, if you like The Runaways, check out Shonen Knife, which was an all-girls Japanese group. They couldn't speak a word of English, but they would just phonetically sing the songs anyway, and they do a bitchin'
Aw.
version of Cherry Bomb. It's probably even my
so is it
favorite, even above
Shonen
the-
Knife?
Yeah, I
Okay.
don't know how to pronounce it, but yeah, but they were great.
All right.
I love girl
excellent.
bands. Girl rock and roll is the best.
Then we have a couple from we have a couple on Day of the Dead, episode 281, which just came out Monday, 2 days ago. Since this is April 2nd and not April 4th. Crystal, you want to take that one from Jose?
Sure. Luis Herrera. I need an intervention and hoping you all don't take away my horror nerd fan card. I have never seen this film or The Return of the Living Dead.
What?
No, we're not going to because look, I mean,
We have to kick Jeff
arguably-
out. So
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was about to say. I was like, look, there's many Jeff hasn't seen. Honestly, I think Day of the Dead is, I mean, there's so many of those films
Mhm.
too. And then what is it, Land of the Dead after
Yep.
that or something?
I haven't watched
Yeah.
the ones after that. I need to do
That's
that
not that
after
crazy.
they're fun.
Yeah.
they're
listen
fun.
to Chad talk about them.
Yeah. So
Yeah, they're good.
Yeah.
They go back to a smaller budget than Land was, but it seems more Romero-esque on the lower
Hey,
budget.
I envy you. I wish I hadn't seen either of those movies because then I could watch them again for the first time and enjoy it. You're gonna love them.
Aw.
You're gonna love them
Yeah.
both.
Okay.
Yeah, they're fun.
I'll keep an eye out for them. And from Gregory Crosby on Day of the Dead. Imagine that. Chad.
Gregory Crosby says, I saw this the summer it came out. I was meeting friends for a showing at the Red Rock 11, RIP, and running late was driving too fast up I-15 when a Metro patrolman pulled me over and gave me a speeding ticket. I was less upset about the ticket than I was about being late to the movie. I made it just in the nick of time, finding my friends in the back row as the lights went down, feeling sweaty and stressed out. Suffice to say, during the iconic choke on 'em scene, a scene in which the whole audience seemed to levitate out of their seats in horror and laughter, I was definitely thinking about someone else entirely in place of the nefarious Captain Rhodes. Cheerio, Gregory.
Yeah, like
I gotta warn you, Chad. Gregory said he's working on a manuscript comment on the Twilight Zone movie.
Oh no.
Just because he's trying to make it as long as he can to see if you can keep up the accent through the whole.
Oh, I can do that all
There
day.
you go. Yeah. There you go. Mhm.
If I get tired of one, I'll just slip into another one. It's no big.
All right.
Yep.
The first time I met Gregory, I half expected he was going to come wearing like a top hat and a monocle because I'm so used to listening to Chad do his accent.
Do not pass go. Do not collect $200.
Well, actually, if you look at some Facebook page, I think there might be some pictures like that. For Halloween type deals. All right.
Just friendly ribbing, Gregory.
Yeah.
Thank
We
you.
love you.
Craig in Lincoln, Nebraska is apparently a new commenter. Dude, that's a great catch. We appreciate it. Nebraska, right next to Iowa.
Ooh.
Ooh.
That's the state motto, isn't it?
That's
Gateway
no claim to fame.
I've even been to Lincoln. Yeah. Well, Nebraska and Iowa are those states that we have T-shirts that say "Wave as you fly over." That's fly over.
You from Nebraska? I'm from Nebraska.
I'm going to be going to Ohio my first time this
okay.
weekend. So
Cool.
I'm going to be dropping Mulder off for taxidermy. So
oh,
yeah. But I've heard Ohio's cool. Is Ohio cool?
I heard it's round, right in the middle and round on both ends.
Never mind.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean,
okay.
you could go to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Rock and Roll Hall of Fame Museum in
Isn't
Cleveland.
Devo from Ohio?
You could go up to where does he live? Columbus?
I don't.
Dave Greer lives right up there. Cincinnati.
I was extremely disappointed with the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Oh, that's too bad.
It's like one little section of Jimi Hendrix soiled underwear, you know, and then the rest of it is a record store.
Oh, it wasn't like that when I was there.
Oh.
Well, I was there about maybe 15 years ago, 16 years.
Yeah, that's probably about. I was probably 20.
Jesus.
Very disappointed.
I wasn't. I don't know.
I just thought they would have a lot more stuff.
I didn't see a record stuff for sale, so
the record that was upstairs.
Okay. And that made me think of something else I was going to say, but I forgot.
What's our next movie, Jeff?
Craig.
Oh,
thank you, Craig. Thank you, Jose, and thanks, Gregory.
Thanks, guys.
And there's plenty of ways to stay in touch. So send feedback to feedback@gruesomemagazine.com, or even better yet, leave comments on Gruesome Magazine's YouTube channel. Either way, they get to us. And you can check out our Gruesome Magazine's HNR and DOH podcast Facebook group, where we post all the episodes, links to all the episodes there, so you can check them out, or go to our decades or gruesomemagazine.com website, which the audio app only goes back about 100 episodes. So as you can see, we're on episode 280 or so. So you get the older ones, go to decadesofhorror.com, and the older ones are audio only anyway. So not that doesn't make them worthwhile. All right. Yappity yap. That's it. That's it for this episode. But every 2 weeks, we'll be focusing on a specific film released between 1980 and 1989. Next up, we tackle one chosen by Bill.
Woo-hoo.
Yay, Bill.
What are we doing, Bill?
Hey.
Wipe that silly grin off your face.
Yeah, that's right. One that is very fondly remembered by people. It's been so long since I've seen it. I don't remember much about it, but I remember enjoying it. So I'm looking forward to seeing it again. It is Critters.
Ooh. Yeah, I love Critters.
The Krites.
But it's been a long time, so
it has been a long time.
Well, there's some I haven't seen this one.
What?
I'm shaking my head.
Or Goonies, anyway.
That's crazy.
Have you ever seen King Kong? It's awesome.
This stars Dee Wallace, Emmett Walsh. This is a great cast. Billy Green Bush, Scott Grimes, who has
Red.
Obviously you've seen him all over the place. Ethan Phillips, who was in Star Trek Voyager, I think. Billy Zane, Lynn Shay. So heck yeah.
Yeah, I'm shocked you haven't seen it. I mean, honestly, some of the things you haven't seen do shock me.
Those to me fit into those. They seem like kid movies to me, you know. I was
Critters.
I was wanting to be. I like horror movies. I like atmospheric stuff. So the stuff that I went to on my own was either like Stephen King or
that's fair.
Well-known atmospheric things. So
Critters is awesome.
Now
I see it. Right.
I think you'll like it.
Yeah.
I think you'll like it.
I'm sure
it's hilarious too.
Mm-hmm. now that you like trashy movies, you know, you got to do a lot of catching up.
I live for the poop and the doo doo. That's
Yep.
the crud.
Yep.
All right, guys.
That's Crystal's next song, "Poop and Doo Doo."
Yeah.
I love poop. I love poop.
I love the poop. I love the doo doo. Yeah.
I don't think I still have that on here. I don't. All right.
Oh, too bad.
Well,
Our heritage is just getting flushed down the toilet. Our legacy. We don't have any of our funny shit on there
That's
anymore.
the end. So
I'd like to conclude by putting my finger up my nose.
say goodnight, everybody.
Instead,
Good night,
we get
everybody.
that. Good night, everybody.
Good evening.
Bill said it too, I think.
Gruesome Magazine.